Yo, what's up, everybody? Here we are, coming up to our first quiz tomorrow. We haven't done too much crazy stuff, just kind of reviewing decimals. But I always like to prepare you guys for what you're going to be tested over or quizzed over. And today is no different. We're going to be doing 5 problems together. That's it. That's all our review is. 5 problems together in this video, and that's all you're going to be doing today. But you got to promise me, please, pull out a piece of paper right now. Just a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, something right with, and just do these problems in this video as I show them. Try them yourself first. When you see it, I'll give you a second to pause on the screen. Try the problem yourself, and then unpause it and see me solve it, and then see if you got it right. It's a great way to learn, especially since you guys are in the classroom with me. So please, with me, just 5 problems, and then we'll be done with our review today, and then we'll be ready for your quiz tomorrow. Okay. So the first one here, since you guys are going to be quizzed over rounding, okay, I would like you to round this decimal number to the nearest tenths place. So if you would please go ahead and pause the video, tell me what the answer to this question is, and then unpause the video and see if you got it right. So if I'm rounding this to the nearest tenth, I gotta find the tenth place. The tenth place happens to be the first place to the right of the decimal point, and the digit there is the 3, right? So my 3 is in the tenth place. I like to underline it just so I know what I'm talking about. And in order to round this, what we want to do is make this a number that's easier to understand. So essentially what I would want to do is keep everything in front of it, because these numbers really matter, right? Everything in front. But the numbers on the end we can drop off because they're kind of like small little fractional pieces that don't matter to us as much. And the rule is we look at the number to the right of where we went around, and if it's a 4 or lower, we keep it the same. And if it is a 5 or above, we bump it up. And 7 is clearly 5 or higher. So that means we're going to take this 3 and turn it into a 4, and then keep everything else in front of this. So 16.376 would round to 16.4. There's your answer to problem number 1. Hopefully that helps clear up some questions. So let's do one more of those. Oh no, what am I doing? Hold on. Next, I'd like you to round this number to the nearest whole number. We talked about this in our first lesson. Whole number is no decimals. Go ahead and try this one. Pause the video. Unpause it when you're ready. Save it. All right. So the whole number is everything on this side of the decimal, right? So the whole number here is 12. So I got to round this to the nearest whole number. What's close to 12? Well, it's either going to be 12 or it's going to be bumped up to another one. And the reason we tell that is, we look, since this is the whole number, I'm going to tell whether I'm going to bump it up or not by looking at the decimal or the place to the right of it. And because on the other side of the decimal, there is a 1, that is a 4 or lower, which tells us to keep it the same. If I were to round 12.17 to the nearest whole number, I would say this rounds to 12. Hopefully we're doing pretty good with the rounding. That is something that never goes away. It's an awesome skill to be able to have. If you need more practice with it, you gotta let me know, and I'll help you out. The next thing I would like to do is practice 2 adding and subtracting problems. Let's go ahead. I was gonna practice this one, but I seem to have destroyed it. So let's go over here, and I want you guys to try this one here from your math book, which you guys don't have. Don't worry about it. This problem number 19 right here. 15 and 63/100ths plus 24 and 36/100ths. I'd like you guys to try adding those up for me really quick. Pause the video now, and then meet back up with me in a second. We'll see how you do. First thing I would do, since it's addition, doesn't matter how we add them because of the commutative property. I can do whatever order I want, but I'll just start with the first one. And we'll do 15.63. 24.36. Stack them up, make sure that my decimals are lined up. The 1s, 10s, tenths, and hundredths place are all lined up. So now I can just add from right to left. That's a 9. That's 9. I'm bring the decimal down. And that's a 9. And 1 plus 2 is 3. So it looks like 15 and 63/100ths plus 24 and 36/100ths comes out to be 39 and 99/100ths. My answer is 118. If you got it, awesome job. If you didn't, hopefully you're finding out the mistake that you made and fixing it. That's what real learning is. Number 21 is the one I want to do next. 82 minus 67 and 1800ths. So go ahead and pause the video, try subtracting this one on your own, and let's see if you got it right. Okay, hopefully you got it done. Welcome back. If you did, I really appreciate you guys following along with me in this video like this. It is really good practice. So we're going to take a look at this, and 82 minus this decimal number here looks a little odd because this looks like it has more digits. So a lot of kids will want to take 67.18 and put it like this and want to subtract like that. That's actually not right, because if you notice, the ones places aren't stacked on each other, the tens places aren't stacked on each other. That's going to cause some problems, right? That's not good. The actual way that you want to stack this up, because it's a subtraction problem, 82 will go on top, and 67.18 will go on the bottom. We've got to make sure the places are lined up. The 7's in the ones place and the 2's in the ones place, so it's going to look like this. Looks a little weird, but it's okay because you can add a decimal and some zeros to the end of it, and it's still 82 minus 67 and 1800ths. Now we have to subtract, so we're going to have to borrow here because you cannot do 0 minus 8, you can't do 0 minus 1. You do have to go all the way over here. We're going to borrow from this 2, make it a 1, and this becomes a 10. That's nice because then we can borrow from it and make that a 10. 10 minus 8 gives us 2 here, 9 minus 1 gives us 8 here. And then 1 minus 7, can't do it. Got to borrow again. Unfortunately, a lot of borrowing. A lot of weird kind of numbers and stuff going on here. But this is 11 now, and 11 minus 7 is 4, and 7 minus 6 is 1. So it looks like we get an answer of 14.82. I think that answer makes sense because if I were to estimate this problem really quickly in my head, I don't like necessarily making you guys do it on paper, but this is something that should be efficient in your head, is that I would say this is close to 80, and I would say that 67.18 is pretty close to just being 67. And then the difference between those two numbers is 13. So if I had to estimate in my head really quick, I would say, well, my answer should be close to 13. I think 14.82 is pretty close to 13. That's reasonable enough for me to say. That's my answer. Moving on. Okay, we got one more problem we'd like you guys to try, and that problem is number 23 on my book here. So please go ahead, pause the video, try the problem, and when you come back, we'll answer it, and we'll be done with our review for the day, and hopefully be ready for the quiz. Okay, guys. Hopefully you solved it. Welcome back. Number 23 here says the current balance of Tammy's checking account is $237.80. Amount of money there. Find the new balance after Tammy writes a check for $29.95. Well, the first thing you have to understand here is that she has this amount of money. Right? She has that much money. When she writes a check for this much money, that actually means she's spending money. And if you know anything about money, spending it means you lose it. So if we're talking about losing money here, what operation are we going to need to do on these numbers? If we're losing something, it's probably going to be subtraction or division. We haven't been doing division yet, so let's go with subtraction. We're actually going to be subtracting that money from her, right? Because she's spending it. So what you need to do is subtract these two numbers. $237.80 is how much she has, and she's going to be subtracting $29.95 from her checking account. We'll find out how much money she's going to have left after she writes that check. So we need to borrow here. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 9, you can't do it, you'll borrow again. 9 minus 17 is 8. Or 17 minus 9, sorry. 6 minus, gotta borrow again. 16 minus 9, 7. 2 minus 2 is 0. Nice, no borrowing there. And then bring down the 2. So it looks like she's going to have $207 left. And again, quickly in my head, before I say, this is my answer, I'm done, before I do that, I'm going to check and see if it's reasonable. Does it make sense that that's the right answer? So if I got something like thousands of dollars, it'd be kind of weird. So I'm going to see, well, this is about 240 bucks. Pretty close to it, right? This is like $30. So if I quickly in my head can do 240 minus 30, that's 210. I would say that this is really close to $210, right? So that seems like a really reasonable answer. So I'm going to say, yeah, that looks like the right answer. I'm going to go with it. Good job. Hopefully this helps. Again, thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for doing these problems with me. And I hope you do really well in the quiz tomorrow. If you have questions and stuff, make sure to ask me. I will see you on Zoom soon.